Hey, wake up! Can you hear me? Open your eyes!
Blood soaked through Lillian's scarf as she pressed it against the stranger's gunshot wound. Rain hammered the dark Busan alley, mixing with the crimson pooling beneath them. The man's eyes, sharp even while dying, locked onto hers with an intensity that should have terrified her. It did terrify her. But her hands didn't shake. "Stay with me," she commanded in broken Korean, her Kenyan accent thick with panic she refused to show. "Don't you dare close your eyes."
Please, wake up!
The man's lips moved. No sound came out, but she read them clearly. Run. Too late. Headlights flooded the alley like spotlights on a stage she never auditioned for. Car doors slammed. Footsteps, measured, unhurried, confident. Men in black suits emerged from the rain, their guns drawn with practiced ease. And that was when it dawned on Lillian that she just saved the wrong man. She should have just let him die. Hello and welcome to Afro-Korean romance stories. You definitely don't want to miss out on what happened next. Was Lillian wrong for saving a stranger? Like this video and hit the subscribe button to support our channel growth. Let me know what you do if you were in Lillian's situation. Lillian's blood-soaked hands rose slowly. Her nursing textbooks hadn't prepared her for this. Nothing in her 19 years of life had prepared her for this. The dying man beneath her groaned, and her instinct overrode her fear. She pressed harder on the wound. "Please," she said to the approaching shadows. "He needs a hospital." "No hospitals." The voice cut through the rain like ice through skin. The man who stepped forward made her breath catch. Tall, lean, with a scar running from his left ear to his jaw. His eyes were darker than the Busan night, colder than the rain soaking through her clothes. Power radiated from him, not the kind that came from the gun in his hand, but something deeper, more dangerous. Kang Soo-hyun studied the scene before him. His younger brother Juneseo bleeding out. A foreign girl, African, young, terrified but not running, keeping him alive with nothing but pressure and determination. "Who are you?" His Korean was crisp, cultured, at odds with the violence surrounding them. "I'm..." Lillian's voice cracked. She swallowed, tried again. "I'm just trying to help." The bullet's still inside. No exit wound. He needs surgery within the hour or... "I didn't ask for a diagnosis." Soo-hyun nodded to his men. They moved to lift Juneseo. "I asked who you are." "Lillian Wanjiku. Nursing student." The words tumbled out as she watched them carry the injured man to a black SUV. "Please," I stabilized him, but without proper treatment. "Get in the car." Her blood turned to ice water. "What?" "No, I..." The distinctive click of a gun cocking behind her ended her protest. One of Soo-hyun's men had moved while she watched the others. Professional. Practiced. Lethal. "That wasn't a request, Miss Wanjiku." Soo-hyun's pronunciation of her Kenyan name was perfect, unsettling. "My brother's blood is on your hands. That makes you involved." 3 minutes into her nightmare, and Lillian understood with crystal clarity, she could die here in this alley, another foreign student who disappeared into Busan's underworld, or she could get in the car and possibly survive. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her memory. "Sometimes, child, the only choice is to move forward through the storm." She stood slowly, legs trembling, and walked to the SUV. The leather seats would be ruined by blood. Such a strange thing to think while being kidnapped by what she now recognized as organized crime. The Houndy Tigers, even foreign students heard whispers about Busan's most feared syndicate. The drive took them through Busan's glittering downtown, past the tourist areas where she usually stayed, into the old money district where traditional Korean estates hid behind high walls. Lillian kept pressure on Juneseo's wound while Soo-hyun watched her with unblinking focus. His scrutiny felt like being dissected. "You didn't scream," he observed. Most people would have run when they saw him bleeding. I'm a nurse. We don't run from blood. You're a student, he corrected. There's a difference. Junesio's breathing grew shallower. Lillian checked his pulse, rapid, thready. He's going into shock. How much further? Instead of answering, Soo-hyun spoke rapid Korean into his phone. The SUV turned through gates that opened without slowing. The estate beyond was a fortress disguised as traditional architecture, beautiful, deadly, and thoroughly trapped. They carried Junesio down hidden stairs into what Lillian recognized with shock as a fully equipped medical facility. Better than some hospitals she'd trained in. But the doctor's station stood empty. Your medical staff, she asked. Indisposed. Soo-hyun's tone suggested indisposed might be permanent. The Yakuza had been thorough tonight. Oh God. The Yakuza. Korean Mafia versus Japanese crime syndicates. She'd stumbled into a war zone wearing scrubs and good intentions. I can't perform surgery, Lillian protested as they placed Junesio on the operating table. I've only observed, never. Soo-hyun stepped close enough that she smelled his cologne, expensive, subtle, with undertones of gunpowder. His hand rested on the gun at his hip. Not a threat. A reminder. My brother has 30 minutes, maybe less. You can try and possibly fail, or you can refuse and definitely watch him die. His voice dropped lower. Followed immediately by your own departure from this world. Lillian looked at Junesio, younger than his brother, maybe 26, with a face that probably smiled often when not twisted in pain. Then she looked at the instruments, the monitors, the impossible situation. I need everyone out except whoever can assist. Sterile field. No distractions. She pulled on surgical gloves with hands that finally shook. And if he dies, it won't be because I didn't try. Something flickered in Soo-hyun's eyes. Surprise? Respect? He gestured, and the room cleared except for one man, older, steady hands, obviously medical trained even if not a doctor. For 3 hours, Lillian operated on instinct, training, and prayers in 3 languages. The bullet had nicked the liver, missed major arteries by millimeters. She sutured damage that would have killed him in another 10 minutes. When Junesio's vitals finally stabilized, when his breathing deepened into something sustainable, she collapsed against the wall and slid to the floor. Soo-hyun hadn't moved from his position by the door. Watching. Calculating. You saved him. That's what I do. Exhaustion made her bold. Save people. Even ones who probably don't deserve it. What makes you think my brother doesn't deserve saving? She gestured vaguely at the medical facility, the guns, the entire situation. This isn't exactly a meditation retreat. He almost smiled. Almost. No. It's not. He pulled out his phone, typed something. My driver will take you home. You'll find compensation in your account. Forget tonight happened. That's it? Lillian stood on unsteady legs. I save your brother and you just let me go. Would you prefer I didn't? The question hung between them like a blade. Because now she'd seen their faces, their facility, their vulnerability. In movies, witnesses didn't walk away from scenes like this. I would prefer, she said carefully, to go home and pretend this was a nightmare. This time he did smile, a subtle curve of lips that made him look younger, more dangerous. Nightmares have a way of recurring, Miss Wanjiku. Be careful in dark alleys. 2 weeks passed. Lillian tried to return to normal, classes, clinical rotations, video calls to Kenya where her grandmother's knowing eyes saw too much. You look thin, Mjuku, her grandmother observed. And tired. What troubles you? Just studying, Nyanya. The lie tasted bitter. How is Jabari? Your brother owes money again. These Nairobi streets will swallow him whole. Her grandmother sighed. But we manage. We always manage. After the call, Lillian checked her bank account. The deposit was there, more than she'd make in 2 years of part-time nursing. Blood money, her conscience whispered. But her family needed it. She sent half to Kenya, kept half for the moral weight of it. She noticed them on the 3rd week, men in black cars, always at a distance, always watching. Protection or surveillance? With the houndy tigers, probably both. The attack came on a Thursday night. She'd worked a late clinical shift, exhausted and careless, taking the shortcut through side streets she usually avoided. They grabbed her at the intersection, different men, Japanese accents thick in their Korean. The nurse who helped Kong Junesio. Not a question. They knew exactly who she was. The van smelled like cigarettes and violence. They zip-tied her wrists, and fear became a living thing in her chest, clawing for escape. The Tiger's base. Their operations. What did you see? The Yakuza soldier's breath stank of soju and impatience. Nothing. I treated a wounded man, that's all. The slap split her lip. Blood filled her mouth, copper and consequences. Lying whore. You were inside their facility. A medical room. That's all I saw. I don't know anything about their business. Another blow. Stars exploded behind her eyes. But before the third could land, the van's windows exploded in a symphony of gunfire. The houndy tigers had found her. What happened next burned into Lillian's memory like a brand. Efficient violence. Calculated brutality. The Yakuza soldiers died in seconds, bullets finding foreheads with surgical precision. She hunched in the corner, making herself small, watching Korean gangsters execute Japanese ones with the same detachment she'd used to fill out medical charts. Then silence. Ringing ears. The van doors opened. Soo-hyun stood there, not a hair out of place, stepping over bodies like they were puddles to avoid. He surveyed her injuries with clinical assessment. You're becoming inconvenient, Miss Wanjiku. Shock made her laugh, hysterical, inappropriate. Inconvenient? I was just kidnapped and beaten. Because you saved my brother. The Yakuza believe you have information. They won't stop. He offered his hand. She stared at it, manicured nails despite the blood splatter on his cuff. This was the moment. Take his hand, enter his world fully. Refuse, and, what? Die in another van, another alley, another night? She took his hand. The Kong estate looked different at night, shadows making monsters of traditional architecture. Soo-hyun led her to his office, a space that screamed power in its minimalism. He poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handed her one despite her shaking hands. The Yakuza won't stop hunting you. He stood by the window, Busan's lights reflecting in his dark eyes. They believe you know our operations. Killing you would send a message. Then I'll leave Korea. They have people in Kenya. Thailand. Everywhere you might run. He turned to face her, and Lillian's breath caught at the intensity in his gaze. There is another option. The whiskey burned her throat. What option? My father is dying. Before he goes, he demands I marry. Produce an heir. Soo-hyun moved closer, each step measured. Korean wives come with Korean families. Alliances. Complications. You. His eyes traveled over her, assessing. You have no connections here. No one to betray me. The room spun. You can't be serious. Marriage to me makes you untouchable. The wife of the Houndy Tiger's leader cannot be harmed without declaring war. He placed a folder on the desk. Photos spilled out, her grandmother, her mother, Jabari, her little siblings. Your family would have my protection. Resources. Everything they need. Lillian's hands trembled as she touched her grandmother's photo. They weren't threatening her family. Not yet. But the implication hung heavy. The Yakuza would eventually find this weakness. This is insane. You don't even know me. I know enough. Soo-hyun sat across from her, elbows on knees, bringing them eye level. You saved my brother when you could have run. You didn't break under Yakuza interrogation. You have medical skills we need. His voice dropped. And you interest me. That admission sent heat through her despite everything. Interest isn't marriage. In my world, marriage is rarely about love. It's about survival. Strategy. He leaned back. You have 12 hours to decide. Stay here tonight, guest room, guards, safety. Tomorrow, give me your answer. The guest room was luxury incarnate, but Lillian didn't sleep. She video called her grandmother at 3 a.m. Korea time, noon in Nairobi. Nyanya, if you had to choose between freedom and family safety. Her grandmother's knowing eyes softened. Child, freedom means nothing if those you love suffer. We carry each other. That's what makes us human. Dawn came with her decision. She found Soo-hyun in his office, looking like he hadn't slept either. I have conditions. His eyebrow raised, surprise at her negotiation. State them. My family receives monthly support. Enough for everything, medical care, education, safety. Done. I continue my nursing studies. With security. Acceptable. I won't participate in violence. I won't help you hurt people. You'll help us heal. Nothing more. Lillian's throat tightened. And the marriage itself. You won't force anything. Something dangerous flickered in his eyes. When you come to my bed, Lillian, it will be because you want to. Not because I demand it. The confidence in his voice, when, not if, should have infuriated her. Instead, heat pooled low in her stomach. That won't happen. His smile was predatory, patient. We'll see. He extended his hand. Do we have an agreement? She took it, sealing her fate. We do. We marry in 3 days. The wedding was surreal, traditional Korean ceremony, hanbok that transformed her into someone unrecognizable, only Houndy Tiger's inner circle attending. Jun Seo, recovered now, smiled at her with genuine warmth. You saved my life, he whispered during photos. Now you're saving my brother's, though he doesn't know it yet. I'm not saving anyone. This is a business arrangement. Jun Seo's laugh was knowing. My brother doesn't do anything halfway. He chose you for reasons even he doesn't understand yet. The ceremony passed in a blur. When Soo-hyun placed the ring on her finger, his thumb stroked her palm, subtle, possessive, making her shiver. That night, he walked her to her bedroom door. Separate rooms, as agreed. Your family's first payment was sent an hour ago, he said. Your grandmother's medical care starts tomorrow. Tears burned her eyes. Thank you. He reached out, thumb brushing away an escaped tear. Don't thank me. You're paying for it with your freedom. Maybe, she whispered. But my family's freedom matters more. Something shifted in his expression, surprise, perhaps respect. He stepped back. Good night, wife. The word in his mouth sounded like possession and promise combined. 3 months passed in strange adjustment. Korean lessons every morning. Dinners with Soo-hyun every evening, formal, quiet, but gradually less tense. She learned his tells, the slight tightening around his eyes when business went badly, the way he rolled his shoulders when exhausted, how his voice dropped an octave when truly angry. She treated injured tigers in the estate's medical facility, becoming their unofficial doctor. These men who killed without hesitation thanked her with tears in their eyes when she saved their brothers. Jean A.E., the only woman in leadership, initially watched Lillian with suspicion. But when Lillian treated a knife wound on Jean A.E.'s ribs without asking questions, without judgment, something shifted. "You're not what I expected," Jean A.E. admitted. "What did you expect?" "A weakness. A liability." Jean A.E. studied her. "But you're neither, are you? You're his anchor. I'm his arrangement. Nothing more." Jean A.E.'s smile was knowing. "Have you seen how he watches you when you're not looking? That's not business, Uni." The endearment, older sister, made Lillian's chest tight. She was being accepted, integrated, transformed. Comment below if you're Team Lillian or if you think she should run. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one. Everything changed the night of the charity gala. Lillian's first public appearance as Mrs. Kong, designer dress, diamonds, Soo-hyun's hand possessive on her lower back. Whispers followed them, the African wife, the outsider, the curiosity. Then Lee Seo-yeon appeared. Beautiful, elegant, everything Lillian wasn't. Purely Korean, old money, perfect. On the arm of Baek Hyun-woo, leader of the rival Siamayan Dragons. "So you're the replacement," Seo-yeon said when Soo-hyun stepped away. Her English was perfect, cutting. "Do you know why he chose you? Because you can't leave. You have no power here." Lillian's spine straightened. "I know exactly what I am to him. Do you know what I was?" Seo-yeon's smile was poison. His first love. The one who left when she discovered what he really was. A killer. A monster. "Then you were weak." The words came out before Lillian could stop them. "You ran from the dark parts. I stand beside them." Soo-hyun materialized behind her, hands settling on her hip. He'd heard everything. "Seo-yeon. Your husband is looking for you." The dismissal was clear. Seo-yeon retreated, but her eyes promised this wasn't over. In the car, Soo-hyun's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. "You defended me. You're my husband. In public, we're united. And in private?" She turned to study his profile, sharp, dangerous, unexpectedly vulnerable. "In private, we're still figuring that out." He pulled over suddenly, turning to face her fully. "You're not what I expected, Lillian." "What did you expect?" "Fear. Submission. Hatred, eventually." His hand cupped her face, thumb stroking her cheekbone. "Not loyalty. Not strength. Certainly not." "Not what?" Instead of answering, he kissed her. Not the gentle press of lips she might have imagined. This was possession, hunger, months of tension breaking like a dam. She should push him away. Should remember this was arrangement, not love. Instead, she kissed him back, fingers tangling in his hair, tasting whiskey and want. When they broke apart, breathing hard, his eyes were wild. "Tell me to stop. Tell me this isn't part of our agreement." "It's not," she whispered. "This is something else entirely." They barely made it to the estate before clothes started disappearing. 3 months of circling each other, of careful distance, shattered completely. He carried her to his bed, their bed now, and showed her that his control only extended so far. After, lying in tangled sheets, his fingers traced patterns on her bare shoulder. "This complicates things," she said. "Everything about you complicates things." He pulled her closer. "I'm not a good man, Lillian. I won't become one for you. I'm not asking you to change." "Then what are you asking?" She turned to face him, seeing him clearly, the killer, the protector, the man who ordered deaths then held her like salvation. "I'm asking you to be honest. No pretense. No lies. That's dangerous. We're already dangerous." His kiss was answer enough. 6 months in, Lillian discovered she was pregnant during a particularly violent war with the Yakuza. She stared at the test, hands shaking. A baby. In this world of blood and bullets. Soo-hyun's reaction shattered her, complete stillness, then walking out without a word. She sobbed, certain he was rejecting them both. He returned 3 hours later with architectural plans, security protocols, education strategies for their unborn child. When he knelt before her, hands on her still flat stomach, tears rolled down his face. My child will not grow up as I did. Unprotected. Vulnerable. Watching his mother die. His voice broke. I will burn the world before I let anyone harm you or this baby. Our baby, she corrected, covering his hands with hers. Our family. The Yakuza escalated when they learned of the pregnancy, the perfect leverage against Soo-hyun. The war turned brutal. Lillian was confined to the estate, only able to help by treating wounded tigers in her medical facility. During one particularly bloody night, Soo-hyun was brought in with a knife wound to his ribs. As she stitched him, he grabbed her wrist. If something happens to me, nothing will happen. I won't let it. His laugh was pained. You can't fight bullets with sutures. Watch me. The final confrontation came when Yamamoto Kenji kidnapped her from a routine doctor's appointment. 8 months pregnant, terrified, but thinking clearly. She worked on his men during transport, using her medical knowledge and visible pregnancy to humanize herself. I could deliver right now, she told one young Yakuza soldier. Stress triggers labor. Do you want to explain to your boss why his leverage died in transit? They treated her more carefully after that. Soo-hyun's rescue was biblical in its violence. The entire Houndy Tigers descended on the Yakuza compound. She heard the gunfire, the screams, felt the building shake. When Soo-hyun reached her, he was covered in blood, none of it his. He dropped to his knees before her, hands checking her and the baby obsessively. I'm okay, she promised. We're okay. Yamamoto? Dead. Very, very dead. The stress triggered labor that night. 20 hours of agony, Soo-hyun beside her every second, looking more terrified than when facing armed enemies. When their daughter finally arrived, screaming, perfect, a blend of both parents, Soo-hyun broke completely. He sobbed holding the tiny baby, whispering promises in Korean and broken Swahili he'd been learning secretly. Ji-yun, Lillian said. After your mother. Ji-yun wanjiku kong. Perfect, he breathed. Like her mother. 1 year later, Lillian stood on the balcony of their estate, Ji-yun babbling in her arms, watching Soo-hyun conduct business below. She wasn't the frightened nursing student anymore. She was the Tiger's queen, the one who healed their wounded and held their leader's heart. Her family thrived in Kenya. Her siblings attended university. Her grandmother received the best medical care. The price? Her soul, some might say. But as Soo-hyun joined them on the balcony, kissing their daughter's head then her lips, Lillian knew better. She'd traded innocence for power, freedom for family, and somehow found love in the darkest corners of Busan. Any regrets? He asked, arms around both of them. Ask me when she's old enough to understand what her father does. And her mother, he reminded her. You're not innocent anymore, my love. You save killers. That makes you one of us. She considered this, watching the sun set over their blood-soaked empire. Then we're all damned together. Together, he agreed. Always. Like this video if you believe love can bloom even in darkness, and subscribe for more unexpected romance stories. What would you choose, freedom or family? Let us know in the comments below.